unmute my own mic. Hello, everybody. It's a Monday again. We're live here. This is ForceCenter show about Star Wars, pop culture, the ultimate adventure, life itself. I'm Ken Knapsack.
I'm Joseph Scrimshaw, and I'm probably blurry. I don't know. I can't tell.
I think so. It's all right. We're having some wonderful, not even tech issues, just tech and time are never on our side. That's where we're at.
Life balance issues. Yes, I've been running late all morning, but happy to be here now.
Happy to be here with you as well. We're going to talk some Star Wars news, and there's some to get to, including our big title of Rotta and his arms and his weapons and his just who he is revealed. But before we get to that, we always like to remind you this show is brought to you by our own merch shop on Fourth Wall. Check out our merch store there. Pick up a t-shirt, coaster, pint glass, something to support the show and represent ForceCenter out in the galaxy. Plenty of time to get things before 2027, but also act now. Head over to ForceCenter-shop.fourthwall.com, ForceCenter-shop.fourthwall.com. That's one thing we got going to help support the show for you, but another is Patreon. Yes, sir. Yes.
That is right. We want to highlight Patreon. We're not building to any specific goal except for more. I guess the Kylo Ren goal. More. If you are able and interested to join us, a ton of different things available on Patreon, including access to the Discord. You can call in for our call-in show. All sorts of fun stuff. We have an exclusive podcast we did many years ago now about why Star Wars matters. So check that out if you're interested.
If you're interested, indeed. Before we get into the news, we'll catch up here, as we often do, with Star Wars adventures, life adventures, all those good things. Part of that for me was rewatching Solo, which is a movie we're going to be talking about Wednesday as our Star Wars Ranked series continues with that. So I can't deny that was probably my biggest Star Wars adventure. But life adventure for me this week was, I don't know, just kind of living a bit. I'm in a period of time, Joseph, where I need to really buckle down. I need to figure out my future. I need to figure out why no one's emailing me back for jobs or, why anyone has jobs anymore. I don't know. But also think it's important. You mentioned work-life balance. Took some time this week to get out there and live. Get out there and live, just like Star Wars taught us. Wait, what?
Yep. Get out there and live. Have some fun. Go fight an empire. Same. This is a very, very busy frazzling time with lots of hurry up and wait kind of work to do as I try to get the film out into the world. It is both like stressful and also like great. It's both at the same time. My wife and I did make it to Descanso Gardens yesterday, which we adore. Is a big park, a nature reserve, really, in the Los Angeles metro area. And so my wife said to me, Ken, the wife says early last week, on Sunday, let's just make some time to spend some quality time with nature at Descanso Gardens. And I said, yes, that is my entire priority. I wrote it down in my calendar. Like, we're going to go there noon at the latest. I moved around what time I talked to my dad. Long story short, just a bunch of businessy stuff came up and like not fun stuff, taxes, contracts. And I was just like, I need help. I can't. So we didn't go into Descanso Gardens until 4, and they closed at 5. But the point of this is, it was still worth it, because just like an hour of walking around with trees that have never heard of LinkedIn, bushes that want nothing to do with AI, it's nature, man. And it always makes you think of Star Wars, because it is like the take a deep breath, reach out with your feelings, remember, what we are really connected to. Luminous beings are we,
Indeed. Yeah, none of those trees are worried about ghost jobs posted on LinkedIn that don't actually exist. Don't actually exist. There you go. Well, exactly. That's our life, Star Wars adventures. This is our life, Star Wars, which is, I did have a conversation about that this week, trying to explain to someone. They brought up Star Wars, as people do. Someone had a Star Wars backpack. And when I got there, my friend April was like, hey, who are these characters on there? We can't figure out their names. And I was like, Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo.
Oh, my.
The characters.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wow, indeed. Though one of them owned the backpack because they're like, yeah, it looked cool. So anyways, and then that led to the I'm off duty. I want to talk Star Wars type of thing. But that was part of my adventures as well. Turn it all off. All right. Star Wars news. Let's get to it.
Yes. I love that. He's a Star Wars expert. He knows the names of these characters from these billion-dollar movies that came out. Yes. Anyway, speaking of Star Wars, what I did have time for yesterday is to spend some time with the Empire magazine spread, the drops that are coming out. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, including the thing in our thumbnail, Rotta and his abs. But like so many Star Wars films before, of course, The Mandalorian Grogu on the cover of Empire magazine. Print issue isn't out to my knowledge as we record this, but they keep doing their lovely little thing of dropping mini interviews on the internet, like a little search. Feel like I'm looking for Easter eggs on the lawn. But the big reveal is the covers, of course. There's a standard image and a subscriber image. The standard cover features an image of Mando standing with his hand on Grogu's back while Grogu sits in a director's chair with his name on it. The subscriber version features Grogu in the same chair, peeking through a film slate. Ken, what do you think of this kind of the sort of playful behind-the-scene tones of these covers?
I think perfect. Just what we've kind of all joked about, right? Grogu going on Hot Ones has been said by us and many folks, and I think that's what you got to kind of play into here. He is one of the biggest stars in the world. So it just kind of, again, I talk about tone setting for this movie, but it does kind of set the tone for the vibes going in and how we should view Grogu, a star.
Yes. I did really like them. And, I'm not singling Mandalorian and Grogu out. I think other Empire magazine covers have been sort of half in character, half behind the scenes kinds of photo shoots. And it is like the film is called Mandalorian and Grogu. It's about these characters. They've got a pretty iconic look. And so I think just finding a fun way to share that is great. But the director's share with Grogu is if to really remind you, like, hey, remember, he's not Baby Yoda. He's Grogu. Say his name. Put some respect in his name. It's Grogu. But just having that sense of whimsy also, I think, I don't know. I feel like it's dealing honestly with audiences. I think with the Disney Plus shows, as we've talked about, we've got a lot of gritty Star Wars. We've got a lot of Star Wars with, tortured characters going through a lot, from Andor to Kenobi to Ahsoka. And I think everything that they've been doing with this marketing push, to me, is a good reminder that I think Mando and Grogu is going to be kind of the more classic Star Wars mix of the originals, the prequels, the trilogies, not these sort of like, let's pick this one lane of Star Wars and really dive in, but more the classic mix of adventure, character depth, but also whimsy and fun. And I feel like these covers are really reminding, like, hey, whimsy and fun is a part of the goal and will be a part of these movies.
Yeah, as it needs to be as well. Yeah. I'm excited to where else you could take Grogu in the marketing push. Like I said, shows or whatever. A sit-down interview, even though we've never heard his words and won't, apparently.
Yes, another interview that we didn't get caught up on. But yeah, do you want more photo shoots? Do you want a stylized, like, Vanity Fair shoot of Grogu lounging around at his home?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Grogu, the interviews of, like, I spent the day with insert actor's name, and we went to, Fred 62 over there in Silver Lake. That's what I want with Grogu. I met up with Grogu as we were driving down Sunset Boulevard. Yeah.
I really like it when, like, it is the sort of like the stars show you their home, and like Emma Stone has a collection of crimson dresses and like that kind of thing. It would be great to be like, here's where Grogu takes his snacks. Here's how many he's allowed a day. Here's how many are living when he eats them.
We got into the Razor Crest and drove down to Venice Beach. Yeah.
Now, this is the new Razor Crest. There's also a little mini interview that came out with Filoni and setting expectations. This mini article discusses the film being grounded in character, and a quote from Filoni that said, "What can't you do now?" In terms of kind of how big or weird the film might be. What can't you do now? It's a question of, is the audience going to believe it? Are they going to feel it? That comes through the characters. If the characters are connecting, then the adventure plays, the action plays, the tension plays. So that seems to be also echoes what we've actually seen in teasers and trailers. How do you feel about this idea of maybe they're going to swing for the fences in terms of being big and weird in cinematic and Star Wars, but grounded in character. Does that seem like an achievable goal these days?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it shows they have a handle on it and they know what to do with it. They're not just simply, though the movie's origins, I understand, are a little weird and dubious. With suddenly we have a movie. You got artists behind it. They know how to tell these tales, and the connection between those two is from episode 1 on. Has been clear and present, and I think it will continue to be and be at the center of this film.
Yeah, I do like hearing them repeat that the film is, hey, about the actual titular characters. It's about the relationship between Mando and Grogu. It'll be coming out later this week, but you and I just had our nice long talk about Solo, and it's really a great reminder to me how much Solo is kind of that classic Star Wars recipe. And I feel like this film is going to be similar to Solo, that it is about the characters and what motivates them, but a serial adventure full of weird, wild things to show us who those characters are. And I feel like a lot of this Empire magazine is, I mean, it's just kind of describing like, hey, you know, kind of classic Star Wars. It's a classic Star Wars movie, but I also feel like that is good to get ahead of it because I think tastes are running more toward the Andor and the what's different. And I feel like a lot of this is kind of repeating. It's going to be like classic Star Wars.
Yep.
So we'll see. We shall
Whiz
see.
Bang.
Filoni has also answered a question about kind of living up to the hype of Force Awakens, saying, well, episode 7 was a completely different entity. I had dreams of episode 7 since I came out of Return of the Jedi. You were like, after 6 comes 7. Where's 7? We're in a completely different era of Star Wars now. This is one of the most fascinating quotes in these mini articles to me of getting ahead of the sort of expectation setting game of Star Wars is a blockbuster franchise and it should do blockbuster numbers. It needs to be at $1 billion in a month. How do you feel about, Filoni setting these expectations and being honest about we're launching a different era of Star Wars, but it is a different era in a different time?
I think it's smart to try. Whether or not we'll stick with the general movie talking public, I don't know. I want the box office to set absolute records for that release day. It's not. It's just impossible to expect that. But I think it will still be held to that standard. It's easy. It's easy to do. Hell, you do it in football and baseball. Compare stats from 2026 to 1918. It's impossible, but it's the same game, right? It's a movie in theaters, and he's right to point out something we have said and others have said for years, proven that Filoni, he's one of us. This whole thing of episode 7, the expectations began in the summer of 1983, right? That's and even before, if you ever heard George saying, "Well, yeah, there's episodes 1 through 9. I just chose these 3." Like, I mean, that was playground conversation all through that era. So it'll never be that again. It never can be. Now, look, we do have a long time between movies, but we've been enjoying plenty of Star Wars between Rise of Skywalker and now. So it is totally different, and I think it's smart to try.
Yes, we've talked about wanting the Rey in the new Jedi Order movie. If that film comes out 2029, 10 years after Rise of Skywalker, maybe you start to get to that level of expectation and pent up desire, and also sort of I think what Filoni is sort of hinting at is something you've talked a lot about, Ken, of like you wrote a version of 7 in your head. So I feel like he's maybe talking about box office expectations of like, of course it's not going to do Force Awakens numbers, but also that like, but people, even though Mando and Grogu are well known, people have not had decades to write their version of the movie, and they're not necessarily comparing their fan fiction to the actual film as much with this one. How do you feel about that?
I think again, I think it's smart to try. It's I think we've been around this movie talking world for so long where it's just again, I don't think people can separate the difference sometimes once this movie comes out. But yeah, I keep saying smart to try just because I think he's spitting into the wind sometimes. At no fault of his own. I think he's trying to make it clear, and we'll help. We'll help get the message out, right? Because we're on the payroll.
Maddie Mourner says no one other than shareholders really cares about the box office. People just use it for a talking point because they can't formulate their own opinions on the art. We have talked about that a lot, and I do think it is increasingly the discussion of the art is about, well, what is the review number on these different sites? What's the cinema score? Because that's being held as a more accurate assessment of people's feelings. But then, yeah, it is just a numbers betting game about what's going to do well at the box office. And then the art lives on.
Yeah.
But again, I'm solo brained this morning because we were talking about it. Solo lives on, and it's a great piece of art, and there are people watching it right now who have no idea it didn't live up to box office expectations in 2018. But it did have an impact. Of Kenobi probably would have been a movie instead of a Disney Plus show if Solo had done box office. And I don't know what the exact box office stakes of, what in Star Wars storytelling is going to change or not based on Mando and Grogu. Maybe not as much because they got Starfighter coming up. But Ken, how much do you feel braced to be impacted by the box office or by the dialogue around the box office for this film?
Yeah, I'm trying to brace myself. I've been in a weird relationship with the pop culture discussion world since, especially 2017, 2018, but definitely 2019, where I feel kind of bitter and angry. The defensiveness comes up a lot easier, and I can't just turn off my brain to just enjoy and talk about it here. I don't know why, so I'm working on that. I brace for impact is a great way to look at it. The narratives are already there, and it's not just Star Wars, as we know, but the narratives are already there. It's just a big TV episode. Here's why this sucks. I saw that YouTube video pop up, like showed a screen of the trailer for Mando, and it's like, here's why this doesn't look good. And it's like, yeah, when you're watching on your phone, like, did you get a sneak peek in a theater that you're not telling us about? Like, how can you come to that determination now? And yes, it's to drive the good old clicks and everything like that. But it's already frustrating. So I'm going to try to go in with silo brain, narrow focus on my enjoyment.
Yeah, I mean, certainly for me, like whenever I see it first, I hope there's a large audience who is invested in it, because that's a great way to see it, and it will live on as a piece of art no matter what. I think I am more invested than I want to be, partially just because I care about Star Wars, and I think it could impact the immediate future of Star Wars. But I also think I am hungry for the narrative to change about box office and genre of, at this point, it isn't just what's different about Star Wars. Do people like this movie? Of course, that makes a difference. But it is also about, it has become standard for genre films to have big box office and then drop off. I know there's a ton going on with Scream 7, including protests and strong feelings and all that. I'm not getting into any of that right here, but just in terms of the box office discussion, Scream 7 is fascinating because it had a really big opening weekend, the biggest ever. The film was probably already profitable, and then it had a huge drop in the second weekend. And there are articles about really trying to fan the flames, like, wow, Scream 7 tanks. And they're like, yes, because that's what genre films do now. And maybe it's, it didn't get great reviews either, and that's fine. It isn't about whether or not the movie is good. It's about that disingenuous discussion of second weekend box office, I think, is where my mind is at with Mandalorian and Grogu, because I think it's going to have a really good first weekend, and it's probably going to have a pretty big drop off the second weekend, because that's how genre films are going right now.
Yep. And as we said, the art of the act of going to movie theaters is unfortunately hard. It's not like it used to be, which we've said many times. But
thank you for the super chat here from Gazarsgad. It says box office, particularly in relation to budget, matters in as much as it affects what gets made, probably more about budget. Yes, and I think because they have their system down, I think the budget is a little bit more. I don't think the budget is out of control on Mando and Grogu. Speaking about things being, go ahead, please.
Oh, it's one of the biggest stars in the world with no salary other than those that create them. So I'm sure the creative team that makes Grogu come to life is still making less than some of the biggest stars of the world.
So. This is true. All right. we are moving on to the helmet being off. There's another mini article with Pedro Pascal talking about the helmet coming off. The article also spends some time getting ahead of things, saying that Pedro Pascal spent more time on the set and in the suit, helmet on and helmet off, while still giving credit to Lateef Crowder and Brendan Wayne. Pascal was asked about the motivation for Din having his helmet off and saying, when we got to that part, all I can say is that it made perfect sense and it was what I was hoping would be the reason. If I were to pitch something, I would say the only thing that makes sense is, and that's exactly it. John filled that blank. I said immediately, John, that's exactly what I was hoping to hear. So basically, the reason for the helmet coming off was both Pedro Pascal and Jon Favreau were on the same page about the why of it. So let's speculate responsibly, Ken. What do you think, or what do you hope or dream the reason that Din takes the helmet off might be?
I mean, still based on the trailers, I'm going with forced off in some way, but that could be the second time. Maybe he is just more free with who he is and walking between two worlds of the Mandalorian cultures and all those things we kind of picked up in season 3. Obviously, we can talk about the business reasons. Smart to have one of the biggest stars currently in the world, see his face. It makes a lot of sense. I think we kind of knew that. But to hear Pedro as an actor excited that the writer or one of the writers and director of the film kind of synced up, that doesn't necessarily always happen, and it kind of gets me excited for the why. But in terms of again predicting, I think forced off, but Mando being okay with that this time around, being more free as himself.
Just breathe, man.
Just breathe.
Yeah, it's great to see Pedro doing an article. I wondered how much press he would do, and I'm glad that they're sort of getting ahead of it and saying, hey, he was on set a lot. Yeah, in the trailer, it certainly looks like it is being pulled off. But I want it to be, I'm not putting any money on this in any of those horrific betting markets. I want it to be to teach Grogu something, to show Grogu something. We've seen him be willing to take the helmet off because he needs to rescue Grogu. We saw him take it off when Grogu kind of requested to touch his cheek at the end of season 2. I think so much of this film has to be about Din's goal to teach Grogu how to be the best version of you in the galaxy. So I don't know exactly what that is. Is it like does Din sacrifice himself? Does he allow himself to be captured to save Grogu, or to show Grogu something? Or just, to show Grogu, like, this means a lot to me, keeping the helmet on, but it doesn't mean more than you, or it doesn't mean more than saving these people. I really hope there's a lesson in it for Grogu.
Yeah. I like the idea of Pedro or Din having to kind of go into the pit of Hades for Grogu to show him something in a way. Yeah, that could be good. A lesson. Yeah, it's got to be a lot of lessons.
I hope there's a lesson.
Their relationship. Yeah,
maybe it'll be broken up into lessons. Lesson number 1: stop
lesson
eating.
Number 1. Yes.
Channel 19 says the reason he takes the helmet off is so he can put a new helmet on. Well, the action figure purchaser in me, of course, would be intrigued. Yeah.
Have they had a Pedro figure one yet? I haven't tracked it. I'm sure they have.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Many. Yes.
Yeah, got to do that.
Yeah. They struggle to capture his charming beauty, but it's there. It's there. One of them even has a pop-on head, so you just got a floating Pedro Pascal head in the package, which is a little disturbing.
In the ether.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Sorry, we put this in the thumbnail, or as I said earlier, thumbnail. This is, of course, the thing that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody's already posting about is Rotta revealed. A fake image of Rotta was passed around the internet and shot down by Hal Hickel, who, of course, works behind the scenes on Star Wars. But Empire Magazine revealed a real image of Rotta. He's got abs and blades for days. Favreau had this quote about Rotta's backstory. When you're trying to establish yourself and your name is famous, when you're Jabba the Hutt's kid, what does that do? How has that affected his trajectory? I get a kick out of that. All right. So, Ken, what are your thoughts on Punky Muffin being a gladiator with a six-pack and maybe a failed Nepo son?
I'm all on board for this. And, I don't know. waffled on, is Rotta throughout this film, or is Rotta, at the center of this film, some of the story speculation from a while ago, or is it just a key sequence? I don't know. I'm just glad he's here. I do think that Rotta has a place in the story. What I love about this quote. We'll never get these answers, but remember, especially Mando season 1 and maybe a little 2, you and I had a lot of fun imagining the relationship between Dave and Johnny Favs, just kind of like, what's it like on set, with the Uber nerd and the guy who's like, yeah. What's that character's name? So I'm fascinated by the stories put together. And does John have an idea about, hey, we got this or that, and who could be in there? And if Dave's like, who's still out there, Rotta the Hutt. When this was first announced that, the more unofficial, was a scoop that Jeremy Allen White was going to play Rotta, a lot of people, understandably, I don't think you're wrong to say, like, you got this great actor, why would you, quote, waste him on this character? And then I think Jeremy Allen White has kind of explained that it was more of like, hey, you want to come in and do this, as opposed to let's cast this guy as this character. But I said then, I'll say now, like, Rotta absolutely has a place in the story. Why, as a Star Wars fan, wouldn't you want to know, does he have any thoughts on the death of his father? It's not just a what if and where did he go, but like, why and where is he now? And then John kind of setting up this as like, yeah, he said failed Nepo baby, or I'm going to make my own name, but I still might be Rotta the Hutt just because, I do want to, it's some good branding. I don't want to let that go. I think I'm so curious, curious about this character.
Yeah, I think people seem real excited about Rotta, and I think there's lots of reasons for it, and happy to hear about more in the chat. Haja says, abs the Hut. Rock Bottle Art says, picture it, Rotta on the cover of Men's Health. This is a new workout routine. I mean, it's so layered. I think for those of us who are kind of all in Star Wars fans, it is taking kind of the character that is one of the most, this weird cutesy character from the movie that was derided, to see him come back in this way is that just sort of like, it's weird and it's fun, and I'm sure there's going to be nothing in this movie. I don't think there's going to be like flashbacks to young Ahsoka tending to him is a baby Hut. He'll always be stinky. But then there's this like actual meaty idea. It goes back to like Empire Strikes Back, of like we're gonna get the deepest wisdom about what this is all about from the frog guy who sounds like Grover. Great. This is what Star Wars does. It puts meaningful things in weird, sometimes silly packages. And I love that is what Favreau is doing with Rotta. And I'm really, I'm amused by he's got this famous name, like, the Hut.
And I know we know Jabba's full name, but like,
yeah.
Let's be honest, it's the Hut. It's the Hut.
He's got. You're right. He does. He has the full last name in canon. You're right. But it's like, oh man, this Nepo baby, the Hut. Of Jabba the Hutt. Of Tatooine the Hutts. But I just think there's something about it that, to me, with what Favreau was saying, in like, basically, how is he affected by the legacy of what he should be? So much of the Mandoverse has been about, are you going to continue the path that you were on and that your society was on and that your lineage was on, or are you going to dare to change? And I feel like if he's a character who was supposed to inherit his dad's criminal empire, didn't, the guys who ultimately did kind of inherit it up to a point, the twins, we know Boba Fett's running Tatooine, but it seems like the twins maybe got a bigger piece of the pie out in the galaxy. You didn't get made CEO of your dad's company as a Nepo fail son, so you went into MMA to try to make a name for yourself, right? It's fascinating to me. And then it's like, okay, is it all about power and dominance? And I didn't get to show my power and dominance by taking over from my dad, so I'm going to show my power and dominance in a different way. And I still wonder if this character couldn't be about change. It couldn't be about Dan getting through to him and being like, you don't have to be what everybody told you had to be. And could it be about this Nepo son revolting and embracing change?
Yeah. Could be, and it's good to know that our listener Matty Morner, a trained MMA fighter, finally gets to see himself on screen too. Yeah, there's Ethan Osvetnik has. I kind of hope Rotta wants nothing to do with Jabba's criminal BS. There's something about that too. He's not like a sweet, quiet kid who went and did his own thing. Maybe opened up an art studio. He's buff and fighting. He's got a viewpoint of the world. But I think there's something I like that about that. Amaranth said this that I kind of worry about this. Oh no, Anakin. Sorry, I saw I thought Amaranth. And Amaranth's here. Hello. Anakin Crespin says, I'm worried about Mando's going to kill Rotta in the arena, and that's why the twins want to make him suffer. Yeah. Again, I don't know.
Yeah.
To the degree in which Rotta will be in this, but I'm just happy to talk and speculate about him. But yeah, that could try.
Yes. I have to let go of my hopes because there's a part of me that just feels like I don't think Rotta's going to be a huge character in this. I think he's
right.
Going to have a limited screen time, but I really want him to team up with Din and help Din escape and kind of like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. There's been so much in the Mandoverse storytelling about kind of the sort of fighting pits is the kind of world that Mando used to, that Din probably would have been comfortable within back in the day, that he's trying to move away from. It's not just about who's the most dominant, who can win the fight. It's about who do you care about? What are you trying to do? What kind of world do you want to leave for other people?
Yeah. No, I and just even talking about it today, I basically pitching a final bonus season of HBO Succession, right? With Rotta and Jabba and the twins. This is maybe Guillermo del Toro back into the Star Wars mix and just have him tell a different tale of Rotta. There's a lot there.
Yeah. Just like, getting in charge of this criminal organization is just a trap. You don't want this, Spunky Muffin. You don't want this.
They used to call me Stinky.
Yeah. And I think, like, yes, it's Rotta comes first in the script, and then Jeremy Allen White is Favreau's normal. Like, who would be really fun and different and surprising? I don't think it's like Jeremy Allen White is signed on to play a mystery character, and then we go through a Rolodex of Star Wars characters and say, Punky Muffin. But John is. I mean, this is kind of the Mandalorian. This is the casting, right? This is why networking is important, but not in terms of forcing it, but just being friends with people. John being at a party and going, shut up, Bill Burr. You want to be in Star Wars? Like, that works for me. Hey, I like that. I like that show, The Bear. I like food and food shows. Let's bring that guy in. I just kind of like that. Yeah. So great. And Jeremy Allen White is speaking to Empire Magazine and speaking as Rotta the Hutt. He says, quote, there's a little bit of Huttese. My speaking voice changes. It was helpful, of course, to listen to Jabba. So what kind of voice are you hoping for with Rotta? Is it big booming Jabba or is it something different?
I kind of want it to be big booming Jabba. Not quite, not quite the whole, but I think he'll have some of that. Jeremy Allen White just successfully portrayed Bruce Springsteen, right? So maybe it's got some New Jersey rasp in his voice. Clarence, play the music, Clarence. Like maybe that. We are the world. Like that's what I want, but in hoodies.
Nice. I definitely want some rasp. I think I was like maybe Tom Waits, the Tom Waits version of Jabba the Hutt with a little bit of there's something a little bit nerdy in the back, but the lisp
a little higher. That's I love Mystery Men. That fraculator work or what? It's one of my favorite.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm Jabba the Hutt's son, and I'm here to kick ass. Look at my abs.
I think you kind of nailed it.
Hope springs eternal. We are all joking about the abs in the blades and all that. But do you have any thoughts on the appearance?
I like it. The reason I hesitate is back in about 2014, 2015, the Poe Dameron comic run, which was a great comic run, by the way. If y'all out there haven't taken a dive, I suggest it. But he meets Gracchus the Hutt, I believe, and Gracchus has some arms, done some prison workouts, kind of the vibe. And I just remember not liking that for some reason. It just didn't. Not that I want the Hutts to appear as they often do. It was a little bit like, that comic book weirdness that sometimes I personally can rub up against. I'm not saying it's bad. But now years later, 10 years on, the prodigal son out in the wilds in a fighting arena with axes and arms and abs. This is what I would want. You want something that's worthy of the big screen. It's beyond TV and it's big star. You want Rotta the Hutt, Buff.
Yeah, to me, it just still has that. I mean it as a compliment, sort of playground what ifs of like the kind of thing that you'd talk about when you got your Jabba the Hutt figure. For those of who are alive in '83, and be like, do all Hutts? Is he the only Hutt? Do all Hutts look like this? And so much of what's been going on with Mandovers is that fun. Like, well, not every Good Morning Garden needs to look exactly the same. Like, let's have some variety in the galaxy. And I think that's what I like about it is like, not all Hutts have to look the same. We got the twins. We got, we certainly in the Clone Wars had some wild variety. So, I mean, compared to that Council of Hutts on the Clone Wars, Rotta's look is very calm and demure.
Yes. Straightforward.
Yes.
Indeed.
All right. Any other thoughts on anything in this, the Empire magazine drops, before we talk a little bit about the Saturn Awards?
No, this is part of a Star Wars tradition, at least over the last 10 years or so, where the magazines start dripping stuff out, and that can sometimes be frustrating if you're the kind of fan that wants to know absolutely nothing going in. And unfortunately, I can't live in that world when we do this show, but I understand that. I appreciate that. So this could be, I always want just enough revealed, but I think it's exciting. We're right there. We are racing towards it. 2 months away, basically, which is scary to think, because I have a big birthday between that and the movie being released. I will be I will be a different person when that movie comes up. But I'm excited.
Ken and his abs and his axe will be there for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
General Cameroni, thank you for the kind super chat. Says, never thought my body goals could be described by the image of a giant slug. Shout out to Rotta for hitting the gym and eating good. I agree. Maybe that's really just the way to look at this film, is aspirational. I've been doing daily push-ups as one of my goals for the year.
Nice.
And it's hard to make time. Exercise is so hard because it is hard to make time for it. And I was talking to my wife about, like, I try to go for a daily walk and I've been doing my push-ups and I'm like, man, I want to spend quality Rotta time and just really invest in it and do it. You feel better. And like, I'm not Rotta ripped, but I was pretty far gone. It's nice to feel like I think I can open a soda bottle without straining again. Right.
There you go. I've been having cottage cheese and blueberries for breakfast instead of a cherry Danish. It sucks, but it's there are results. So follow the Rotta way. You know what? And maybe that's what Lucasfilm will give this gift to you for free. I know the Lucasfilm feels they know how to handle social. We got this, is a quote I've heard. But they should make Rotta an Instagram fitness influencer.
That would be great.
That's what I want.
Hey guys, Rotta the Hutt here.
You looking to define your shoulders? I got it right here. 4 moves, 3 sets of 12. Yeah.
Shuba duba. Rock Bottle Art says, I'm glad they're including some Hutties if they have to include more basic for accessibility, but I don't want to lose the entirety of the flavor the alien language gave the original trilogy and Pico trilogy. Very much agree with that, and I hope it is a good variety. Another kind super chat from Snarb God. We're just going to say it a different way every time.
Snargad. Yeah.
Snargad.
Sarngad. It's kind of like my last name. The P and the Z together have always confused everybody. That NG back to back.
Snarsgod says, speaking of Springsteen and Tom Waits, I just learned Jersey Girl isn't a Bruce original. Rotta got no time for the corner boys. Is this news to you, Ken? I'm not a Springfield expert myself. Obviously.
Springfield. You're a Shelbyville guy.
Didn't even get his name right. Clearly not an expert on.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I'm a fan. I am a big fan of Bruce in that way of like, I love Bruce, but I don't think I own any of his albums. My old program director in my radio station was a Bruce guy, and every morning about 6:30 he'd get on the radio and be like, "Here's another cup of Bruce juice," and he'd play a rare Springsteen song. I just never forget that.
Yeah. Maddie Warner says, what if the popcorn bucket is a tub of protein with Rotta on it?
But I mean, come on, they've got to lead into this. Just I don't know.
Yeah,
Rotta the fitness.
Yeah. But I think people should brace for not a lot of Rotta. I think
Yes, I agree.
we might be looking at, I think, more than Phasma, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, and so far in Empire, no Embo, so we don't have seen him lounging in a chair, in the director's chair that says Embo yet, but maybe we'll get there.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So I don't have any structured questions because I kept waiting all night for the news to drop, but last night was the Saturn Awards, and I finally found an article this morning on Star Wars Newsnet that had a summary, and hey, Star Wars did pretty well. So I'm just going to read some of what happened, and then we can go wherever you'd like, Ken. So Andor won for Best Science Fiction Series, beating out The Ark, Foundation, Severance, Silo, and Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And as Star Wars Newsnet says, in what feels like honors long overdue after an award season that wasn't kind to many of the series' great performances, Diego Luna won Best Actor, and Stellan Skarsgård took home Best Supporting Actor. Genevieve O'Reilly and Denise Goff were both up for Best Supporting Actress, but lost to Caroline Wydra, who is on Pluribus and in Twin Peaks Season 3. And then Skeleton Crews, Ravi Kabit-Conyers won for I think Best Young Actor was the title, beating I have not researched these names: Ariana Cartaya from It, Welcome to Derry, Joe Freeman from The Institute, Noah Schnapp from Stranger Things, Jazz Sinclair from Gen V, Sadie Sink from Stranger Things, and Clara Stack, It, Welcome to Derry. So that's
a big win.
That's a big win and rare for Skeleton Crew to get anything even remembered. And then the last bit of Star Wars news from the Saturn Awards, Mark Hamill presented George Lucas with the Dr. Donald A. Reed Founders Award. Haven't had a chance to find video of Lucas's speech, but here's how Star Wars Newsnet described it. Lucas kept it brief, touting how busy he is with the forthcoming opening of the Lucas Museum of Narrative Arts, saying it's like making a movie, only worse. He thanked the crowd and wrapped up by saying his wife told him to keep it short.
I love George.
Yeah, the dynamics there. The dynamics is pretty great. All right. People are questioning the sci-fi category, saying sci-fi, says Laserbolt's video. And
I think it's in the spirit. Yeah.
Calling Star Wars sci-fi is like, I think the if you look at all the categories in the Saturn Awards, there are already quite a lot, and they're quite broken out. And I think if there isn't a space fantasy category, there's a fantasy, there's a sci-fi, and I think in general, because I think if you grilled random humans on the street, they would put Star Wars into science fiction before they'd put it into fantasy. Fascinating discussion for me, but yes,
I just had it recently again. And it was someone very well intended. It wasn't a bad conversation, but they were like, I've never loved Star Wars. It's not really a sci-fi. And I was like, yeah, I know. I know.
But then you get into like, what do you, there's spaceships and, it's got robots and spaceships.
If you got robots, you're there.
Yeah. Yep. So Ken, where do you go? Well, let's talk about the Andor of it. Andor, of course, has been beloved, but hasn't really done super great on the awards circuit. This is probably the end, but it won Best Show. Diego Luna celebrated, Stellan Skarsgård celebrated, and very painfully, the great women actors once again, nothing. How do you feel about all this?
Yeah, bummed about the nothing. But again, award shows for art is a long-standing tradition, but also a weird one when you pull back and kind of look at what you're actually doing there. But yeah, it's the Saturn Awards, and I don't mean that to be dismissive, but it's in a way like Andor being recognized by its peers in a way makes good sense for me. And it's fun. It's a celebrated show. Deserves all the awards. It deserves to break out of the genre fiction boundaries, and it did in a lot of ways, but not so much in the awards. So this is a good final exclamation point on a great run of Andor, which will go on. But
yeah, I just finished watching this weekend. In fact, rewatching for myself and watching the first time for my wife season 2 of Andor, and it is just phenomenal. And I'm glad it got some recognition, even though this is not one of the loudest awards ceremonies in the biz, because I think it is still its genre. No matter how popular it is always going to take a little bit of a backseat to, proper drama. I'm really excited. I'm not surprised by Stellan Skarsgård. I am really happy for Diego Luna because, watching the show again, I understand he's got a lot of scenes where he needs to just be the one who is insistent, who's just trying to get somebody else to believe something. But man, the scene with the healer, when he plays his denial, when he plays his not wanting to know, the pain of watching that Dear John holovid from Bix in the run, and then the different vibe with having his bachelor time with Melshi and Katie. Like he plays a lot of shades and plays them really well. And I think some of the phenomenal performances in Andor are just kind of like, they're fireworks. They're hard to miss. But I think what Diego Luna is tasked to do is a little bit subtler. So I'm really happy for him.
I agree. It's a show called Andor. He's casting Andor, but it was an ensemble piece in a lot of ways, and a lot of people's heart and mind. I think describing the performances as fireworks is great because not one bit of casting was wasted, right? Which is something that they said going in. We have all these named characters. They really put their heart into the entire picture, so it's easy to maybe overlook Diego Luna, but he's the center of it. Deserves it.
And lots of comments in the chat about nothing for any scoff, nothing for Elizabeth Ula. Adriana Arjona, Bix, fabulous. Genevieve O'Reilly. I mean, that it really does hurt because I think all of those performances are just phenomenal. There's so much complexity and subtlety and range, and it really does sting to have none of them win. But hopefully they will all win fabulous careers, unending love, and perhaps a Disney Plus show eventually, because Clea making her way through the rebellion with the chip on her shoulder would be great fun. I agree. Yeah. And also, like, man, I hope the Mandoverse continues, and I hope there's an episode where we find out if Dedra Miro survived Narkina and got released. Grabbing this real quick from the real. Oh boy, there's a lot to read there.
The Real Red 5.
The Real Red 5. There we go. 1, 2, 3. What did the missus think of Andor? She loved it. It was really great to revisit it, and it was great to slow down and watch it. We watched some of them all kind of clumped together, but we watched the horror on Gorman, and she was just like, I just need to sit and process this. And then we watched the episode where Cassian helps Mon Mothma escape. She's like, I just need to sit and process this. And it was really great to see. Some of those episodes really do stand well all by themselves. So great experience.
Indeed. It's, I wouldn't describe it as a comfort show, but in a weird way, it might just be on a lot in my house going forward.
Another very kind super chat here from Narsgad. Do you think Denise and Genevieve cannibalize votes from each other? It's always tough when one show gets multiple noms in the same category. Possibly, and to be perfectly honest, I'm looking at this quickly and from the Star Wars filter, not really looking, who else was in there. But Carolina Wydra does do a phenomenal job in Pluribus, and I think part of it might be the sort of the recency bias of, Pluribus is the hot show right now. All right. Any thoughts on Ravi Cabot Conyers winning for Skeleton Crew?
It's a big win because that's a stacked category. Just looking at some of the names and the performers, and again, shout out to Nate Manning and Star Wars Newsnet for putting it all together for you and I to read it quickly. I'm scrolling back up. That's an impressive list. I think Sadie Sink's one of the leaders of the new generation. Noah Schnapp. I want to say Schnapp. Rest in peace, John. Stranger Things having all the buzz. There's a great, as does it. Welcome to Derry, but he has a heart that I absolutely loved. He has an energy, and he brought it to that character, and he played it super well. I think there's some great performances all around from the kids. I've talked to some folks who don't agree with that at all, and we're like, couldn't do it, couldn't get past first episode with them kids. Totally understand. Not here to force you through it. But I think he in particular brought such wonderful whimsy and energy to his dreams, and it played very well in the show. So there you go. But Neil in a bath, that's a big win too.
Hey, if they had best bathing scene, maybe they shouldn't have that. Yeah, I talked to someone recently who said, "Yeah, I can watch it because those annoying kids." And like, fair enough. You do you, and I'll do me, and that's it. But yeah, I mean, I think his performance is fantastic, because it is the one that I think risks treading on. Whoops, I had a dream, and and I think he is the heart of the show, and I think he communicates it really well. So congrats to him.
Yep.
All right.
Great.
Any thoughts on Lucas winning another wonderful Lifetime Achievement Award, and being told by his wife to keep it short?
Yes. What I love about it is it's another reason to get George out of the house that he's probably grumpy about. Like, why do I got to do this? I got to go. I got a museum to launch, and there's in the launch he touched about it. It is going. I think it's set to open. Right, hasn't been pushed back yet. But you and I know, I've heard around town. It's been a George-like struggle in the best ways to get it right. So I hear his words. He just wants to go work on what the thing he loves. But it's always good to see him, and good to see Mark come out and talk about him. We don't, time moves on. Hold on to these moments.
Yeah, I can't wait to track down the video of this. Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for the museum. They've been putting out some great promos on social media, and I do think that George is approaching the museum in a feather ruffling way of, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to break some of the rules, and I can't wait to see how that really works. And then having literally seen videos where George is asked a direct question, and then, like you and I do sometimes, goes into a long theme statement, and you see Melody kind of tug his flannel. It's just so human, and it's so relatable. He's an idea guy, and he talks big and long on ideas, and I loved it. She was like, wrap it up. And in that spirit, Ken, we're going to listen to Melody Hobson, and we're going to wrap up this episode, right? Because we both got places to be.
We do. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for the super chats. Sarn God, we're going to learn to say it once. But I like sometimes when we just can't get names right and it becomes a running joke for years. Mark Knope understands that very well. Good stuff there. Trying to make sure we got all of it there, but I think we did there. I'm going to go listen to Jersey Girl just to get the answer there. You guys can out there watching. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Hype the video, leave a comment, help us do all those things to get the word out of the show. We appreciate your help if that's something you're willing to do. You can also listen on the podcast side, of course, and find us on social media at ForceCenter Pod. Support us directly and keep this conversation going in our Discord, or call into our shows on Friday via Patreon at patreon.com/ForceCenter. You can follow me at Cadnapsock or my website, cadnapsock.com. Is it completely updated? No, but you can find everything I do from there, or just find me on YouTube, where my show, The Blathering Live, goes live 3 times a week, and we hang out with the audience there. Where can they find and follow you, sir, and especially get updates on the film?
Yeah, you can go to my website, josephscrimshaw.com, or I've got a website up for the film. That's at deadmediamovie.com. Lots more to come, more info on film festivals and other ways I'm working to get the film out into the world. And when the call comes for places that you can see it and support it, I will be asking much of the kind ForceCenter family to help me out. So thank you all for following along on the journey. You can also follow me all the social media, Joseph Scrimshaw. That's it for me.
That's it for us. We'll see you next time here on ForceCenter.